Hello everyone, Chance here. This is going to be a how-to video on how to get a better KD, win-loss, essentially how to improve at Call of Duty Ghost. Just keep in mind that these are all tips that I accumulated over the many years of myself playing Call of Duty. I've been playing since World at War, so I've had a lot of experience with Call of Duty, and they all play differently, and in my personal opinion, Call of Duty Ghost has been the hardest Call of Duty for me to grasp onto. Normally for every Call of Duty it takes me about 5 to 10 matches, maybe a night, and I get it down, and I get the whole way the maps flow, the weapons, everything, and I get my KD up to where it's normally at with all the other Call of Duties. But with Call of Duty Ghost, it took me like 3 to 4 days to get this game down, and it's very hard. And even some maps to this day, I still don't understand fully, and I kind of get my ass kicked at times. But I'm going to try to break this down and just give you tips and everything to hopefully you guys can get better at the game as well. So all these tips will most likely just be randomized and just kind of brought up as I start to finish this commentary. But I do have one tip instantly I'm going to give you, and it is the most important tip in my opinion, and it is your TV. And I know a lot of YouTubers tell you response time, all this stuff, but your most important thing is get a small TV. When I got my Elgato after I had my HD PVR, I went out and I wanted a smaller TV because the bigger one I had was just kind of hard on my head. And I went out and bought like this, what is it, Sansu or Sansoy I think it is. It's like just a 19-inch 1080p monitor or TV. And the reason I wanted it small is because if you play on like, let's say a 60-inch TV, your eyes have to scan so much farther to get across the screen. And it essentially means slower reactions, harder on your head. And it's just, overall, it's just not useful for gaming. And I'm pretty sure any competitive player or any MLG player or any big YouTuber will tell you the same, that they most likely play on smaller TVs because it essentially means faster reactions. And what's funny is actually a few days ago, my buddy Gunner was playing on a 42-inch Sony Bravio, I think, and he said it was kind of hard on his head. And I told him to go out and get a smaller TV. So he actually went out and bought a 19-inch LED. I don't remember the brand, but he did that. In his first match, he went like 30-6, which he was just kind of getting his ass kicked in Ghost. And the best tip I can give you is your TV. Just try to get a TV probably from 16 to 25 inches, I would think. Anything bigger, if you're comfortable with a big TV, that's fine. But I'm just saying, if you're having problems, try to look into a smaller TV. If your parents have one, like a smaller TV upstairs in a spare bedroom or something you can use. It doesn't have to be HD. If you don't, I only have an HD TV because I need HD to record in 1080p, of course. But if you have a standard definition television, that'll work just as fine as well. It'd be better if you had HD so you can fit all the pixels and it'll format the screen a little bit better. But overall, just get a smaller TV. Tip number 2, the weapons. A lot of guns in Call of Duty Ghosts have like built-in attachments or like essentially perks to them. Like with the last assault rifle, it's like the RCX or something like that. That has the first 3 rounds it shoots out have reduced recoil and has a built-in laser sight. Use these to your advantage. Like with the MTAR, it has the best range in the in the submachine guns. It's kind of like a hybrid. So use these to your advantage. If the submachine guns have really bad range, but the MTAR has the best range out of the submachine guns, put a muzzle brake on the MTAR. It pretty much means you got a astounding assault rifle, but with a stock and lightweight considering it's a submachine gun. Use these to your advantage. If they have special abilities and perks to them, try to put more attachments on it to help benefit its perks, and it'll make your weapon stand out more. And I know the gun I'm using right now in the gameplay is the MSBS, and it is the most overpowered gun I've ever seen in any Call of Duty ever. And most likely, as you're seeing this video, I am releasing this video within the first week of Call of Duty Ghost coming out. So if you're watching this months in the future, and the MSBS will most likely be patched by then, because this gun's too strong, it will get a nerf eventually. But try to use these to your advantage. Like, the MSBS is extremely strong. I haven't used it yet, but you can put select fire on it to make it fully automatic. I have not done that. I have not tested that. But if it's a 3-round burst gun and it has a 2-shot kill potential, maybe try automatic fire. Try to use every weapon's perks to its advantages, and it'll make those weapons excel greatly. Because in a game like Call of Duty Ghost, every engagement's from medium to long range. All these maps are gigantic, except for a few close quarters ones. But they're all huge, especially for Call of Duty maps. So you really need range over fire rate. That is the second tip, range over fire rate. Tip number 3. I know this is going to sound very, I guess, generic, because every YouTuber who makes a video like this says the same tip, but play intelligently. And I know it's easy for me to say, but if you're new to the game, watch the UAV. I notice when a lot of people are new to the game, they don't pay attention to the UAV. just focus on the UAV. If I do my live commentaries, if you watch any of my Faunceify live videos, just pay attention to my eyes. I look at that mini map every like half a second, and it's just because I need to stay on top of that. I need to know where my teammates are at and where they're placed at, so I can predict which spawn the enemies will be spawning at. And it's just like, once you understand the game a little bit better and how the UAV actually works, not just for having UAVs up, it's going to help you greatly. Just try to interpret the UAV more into your game style. Like if you watch any FaZe Pomage videos or Optic Scumpy videos, when every video is a live commentary, watch their eyes. They are scanning that UAV every half a second. You just need to stay on top of it, because if you see where your teammates are placed at, like let's say if you have teammates to your right and behind you, and you know there's a spawn point to your left, most likely they're going to spawn there, because they won't spawn enemies in with your teammates. That would just be a bad spawn point, you know what I mean? And if you know where the spawns are located, you can kind of start running there already, and you can get a jump on them. And honestly, that is kind of mean and stuff, but it works, you know what I mean? Choose your own engagements, play intelligently. I know every YouTuber says play it as if you're playing Search and Destroy, which that's just silly. No, it's just play intelligently, because realistically, a lot of people are very predictable in Call of Duty. You know what I mean? I just predict people's placements. I'm like, most likely people are just going to come through here, funneling through from the spawn. Just set myself up for a second, boom, 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 get a triple kill. You know what I mean? It's just set your own engagements up for yourself. It will just help you out a lot. If you already do that, then awesome. Yeah, but try to interpret that into your game style, like your UAV, check your corners, just essentially play intelligently. Like kind of like if you're playing Battlefield. In Battlefield, I know everyone checks their corners because it's so much more like real life simulated, opposed from just a Call of Duty based game where you shoot and your bullets will land. So just try to play intelligently. Tip number 4, your class setup or your build, do it intelligently. There's a lot of other things along with that, like your kill streaks. If you can't honestly maintain a 3, 5, 7 kill streak, if you can't chain those kill streaks without dying, put on support. You know what I mean? Your things will just keep going, your kill streaks will, and that way you'll be able to put down UAVs, ballistic vests, you know what I mean? You'll be able to support your team and get more XP and stuff if you can't really maintain the assault kill streaks. Use these to your advantage and chain them. If you can, like me personally, I run the Trinity rocket, the Battle Hind, and then the pilot ship, because my Trinity rockets normally get me enough kills to get me to my Battle Hind, and my Battle Hind will normally get me to my Helo pilot. So as soon as I get my 7 kill streak, technically I already have my 12th kill streak, because I can chain those kill streaks. Just try to focus on your entire class build. Not only that, with your perks. Don't use pointless perks that really don't do anything. Like, if you shoot from the hip all the time, maybe not use Quick Draw, since Quick Draw takes up, I think it's 3 points, I believe. Like me personally, I run 7 perks, but I use perks that I use a lot, like Scavenger, Focus. I use that new perk called Gambler, Sleight of Hand, Ready Up, which is the dexterity one, and stuff like that, because focus on it greatly. Like I use the new perk that makes you sprint and you can reload while sprinting, and I thought that was awesome. But little did I know is when I try to cancel my reload, instead of YYing, I sprint instead of YY. So then I couldn't do that no more. So if I really try to change that up in my gameplay, it would kind of mess me up. So just try to focus on everything in your class build and make sure it's solid. You can't have the best gun in the world and then just have bad perks. It won't work. You need a solid class build to fit your thing. Like if you have the off the grid perk, which makes you invisible to SATCOMs, make sure you have a suppressor on your gun, because what's the point of staying off the UAV if you're still going to be shooting and staying on the UAV? You know what I mean? Build your class intelligently, build it full and rounded, and just build it strengthening. And it's kind of complicated, and it's easy for me to say because I've had a lot of experience with Call of Duty, so I know how to build a class correctly. But if you need help on it, if you have good friends that play Call of Duty and they're really good on your friends list, maybe ask them, what do you play? Or what weapon do you use? What perks do you use? Try to gather some tips in this and try to interpret your own game style into everything in your class. It's easy for me to say, but it can really help you out. I apologize if this video seemed all over the place, because it kind of was. I was trying to explain everything correctly, but with enough time to finish out the gameplay. I'm really sorry if it seemed like I was all over the place, and I'm sorry there's not more tips. I could give you more tips, but they would be simple tips that you'd probably be like, why did I come to this video? I wanted tips I haven't heard before. And I know I only gave you 4 tips, but I hope these are tips you haven't heard yet. I hope these are tips that you actually learned something from. I could give you easier tips, but you'd probably get mad at me and just be like, this video wasn't helpful, I already know that. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? I wanted to give tips that you can actually gather in that you haven't seen on another video before, and I really hope this does help you out. If you guys have any other questions, I might make a part 2 if I could think of more unique tips. But if you guys need any questions or anything like that, anything in general, comment down below, or you can direct message me. I don't mind. I'll answer your questions if you need any help with anything. Yeah, and that's about it. I'm sorry this video ran 10.5 minutes. This is like my longest video in so long. But you guys have a great day and be safe and take care, and I hope you guys improve at Call of Duty. See ya.